UFC 312, Dricus retains his title in a tactical war against Strickland. UFC 312 promised fireworks, with Dricus and Strickland locking horns in a highly anticipated rematch. Their first bout at UFC 297 back in January ended in controversy, with Dricus winning by split decision in a razor-close fight. Many fans believe Strickland had done enough to get the nod that night, and the rivalry between the two only intensified after the fight. A rematch seemed inevitable, not just for competitive closure but also for the significant financial reward the UFC stood to gain from running it back. Unlike the first encounter, the build-up to UFC 312 wasn't fueled by heated trash talk or dramatic press conferences. Instead, the focus shifted to the fight itself, a refreshing change given the big personalities involved. This time, both men seemed determined to let their skills do the talking inside the octagon, and with 5 rounds or less to settle the score, it was only a matter of time before questions were answered in brutal fashion. As the fight kicked off, it became clear that both fighters were taking a measured approach. Strickland relied on his signature Philly shell defense, a style rarely seen in MMA, while Dricus focused on body attacks and low kicks. Strickland maintained his composure, checking calf kicks and peppering Dricus with his jab. The pattern repeated throughout the round, Dricus throwing kicks and the occasional spinning body kick, while Strickland responded with stiff jabs. It was a calculated, technical round without any significant damage done on either side. In round 2, the tempo picked up slightly. Dricus opened with an oblique kick, only for Strickland to fire back with one of his own. A minute into the round, the first big moment came when Strickland landed an overhand right to the side of Dricus's head, his cleanest strike of the fight so far. The exchange seemed to energize both fighters, and what followed was a back-and-forth battle of single strikes. Jabs, kicks, and the occasional combination punctuated the rest of the round. By the end of the second frame, Strickland's mouth was bloodied, but the fight remained competitive. Round 3 began with Strickland narrowly missing a body kick from Dricus that landed awkwardly. Dricus followed up with punches inside, pushing Strickland back momentarily. Strickland fired back with a combination of his own, but the lack of sustained action soon began to test the patience of the crowd. The energy shifted midway through the round when Strickland landed a solid right hand. Dricus quickly regained the momentum with a flashy spinning back fist that connected cleanly, bringing the fans back to life. The round ended with Dricus attempting a takedown that Strickland easily stuffed. After 3 closely contested rounds, the fight was still up for grabs, but Dricus appeared to have a slight edge on the scorecards. The championship rounds are where champions are made, and Dricus came out determined to prove his worth in round 4. He began by switching stances and targeting Strickland's body with more urgency. Moments later, Dricus landed a clean right hand that snapped Strickland's head back. Strickland was hurt, his nose possibly broken, and blood started pouring from his face. Sensing an opportunity, Dricus pressed forward aggressively. The sight of blood seemed to energize him, and he unleashed a barrage of strikes, forcing Strickland to retreat. Despite the pressure, Strickland showed incredible toughness and managed to stay out of serious trouble. Dricus, to his credit, remained composed and resisted the urge to empty his gas tank in search of the finish. He stayed patient, spamming overhand rights toward the end of the round, but failing to put Strickland away. As the round came to a close, it was clear that Strickland was in deep waters. His coach, Eric Nixick, didn't mince words in the corner. "You need a finish to win, take chances, take risks." It was easier said than done with a broken nose and a relentless champion standing across from him. Round 5 began with Strickland trying to implement his coach's advice. He stood toe-to-toe with Dricus, firing his jab and attempting to create openings. Dricus, however, remained disciplined, sticking to the same strategy that had worked throughout the fight. He targeted the body with kicks, occasionally punching his way inside to land the right hand. The pace slowed slightly, but Dricus was clearly in control.
Down and lands a left hand.
Every time Strickland tried to mount an attack, Dricus had an answer. In the final minute, Strickland tried one last desperate push, but it wasn't enough. Dricus stayed calm, picking his shots and avoiding unnecessary risks. When the final horn sounded, there was little doubt about who had won the fight. The judge's decision merely confirmed what everyone already knew. Dricus had successfully defended his title.